Also, last meeting I wasn't able to introduce him, but Dan Hill has taken over our baseball program. So I think that's a great step for our program. You know, I thought Matt Strunk did a great job of continuing it, and he wasn't able to coach this year because of job-related issues. And it's always nice to get a person on staff that can take over and be qualified and interact with the student athletes during the school day and throughout the week. So, you know, I think that's going to be a great positive. So baseball and softball have started, track has started. You know, those are things that, you know, it's hard to believe that winter sports are over. And I think, you know, I do want to recognize our wrestling program. I think it's an up-and-coming program. You know, we're building a culture of wrestling, which is very different. I think Mr. Garwood, like I said, experienced it at the wrestling tournament. It's very different, very intense, and we've had success throughout the season. We had 6 wrestlers qualify to the districts. Our wrestling team placed 4th in the districts, and for, I believe, a 5th-year program, that's pretty impressive. And we had 4 of those 6 advanced to the second day of districts, which if they would have advanced at that meet, they would have went on to the state meet. So we were close to having at least 1 or 2 wrestlers advanced to the state. Fell a little bit short, but a great job nonetheless. Financially, the athletic department is very solid. You know, we're always going to look for creative ways to raise money, and that kind of brings me to I talked to the athletic council, talked to the building and grounds. We are going to get the touchdown club. We're going to kick off a drive to get turf for the football field. We have met with companies, and we have chosen a company, and I do want to stress that it's going to be privately funded. You know, it's not going to be any burden to the school, so it will be privately funded. That's one of the messages we're going to try and push and get out there when we really get formal with getting the project going. But just to throw some numbers out there, just so you know, the company that we have chosen is Maui Bay Turf Center, which would be out towards the Toledo, Dayton area out there, Oregon, Ohio. Felt very comfortable with them. The guy that I coached basketball with a number of years ago knows one of the lead guys there. He coached with them, taught with them. So I kind of got a sense of who he was. And then Minerva High School used them as well. And Don Spinell, their AD, spoke very highly. Don Perry, who's also on the turf committee, reached out to a lot of the projects that they had done, contacted schools, and just wanted to know what their experience was. So he did a good job of researching, and we found out that, you know, very positive response. So to throw some numbers out there just so you know what we're looking at, we're looking at turfing what is called the D areas, so behind the end zones, you know, where the curves of the track are, that's the D areas. That would also be turfed aside from what is paved. That would be $549,000. And then if you pave those areas instead of turfing them, it's actually a little bit more expensive, $609,000. And I think what our next step is, we are going to just get ourselves organized, start organizing what we're going to do as fundraiser. We're going to get the touchdown clubs in the process of becoming nonprofits, so that there's going to be tax benefits to the donors and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at. Whether it's a year from now or 10 years from now, you know, I think we got a good group that's committed, and hopefully this will be the next step, not only for the football program, but we want to stress it's going to include more than just football. We're going to make sure that there's soccer lines on there, you know, that the baseball, softball team can get out there, track can train out there, you know, cheerleaders can be out there, our youth programs, you know, our lower level programs. So it's not just going to be for, you know, Friday night lights and that's it. You know, we understand that this is a project that's going to be of great value to all our student athletes and to our community. So those are things that are happening with the athletic department. I did bring, there are some renderings here. I only had one booklet, so I do apologize. So we'll pass it around. This is my favorite one down here, so hopefully everyone votes for that one. Any questions?
What would it take drainage-wise under that?
Well, that's the one thing. They thought everything would pretty much be okay. They said, but we really wouldn't know until we got in there just to take a formal check of what the drainage would be, where the best place to run the drains, you know, so we don't overflow anything, you know, whether it's running it out back or wherever. they would take care of all of that. They have a system in place, and it's in there how they have storage underneath, so everything just, it's not like a flash flood when it drains. So they did a nice job of presenting all that.
Life expectancy of something like this is what, 12, 14 years?
Yeah, that was what they said. Basically, you know, the expectancy, if you have the turf, 8 years is a warranty life. You know, if it's heavily used and you don't really take care of it, you're looking at tearing it up in 10 years. We contacted some schools that have it 8 years, 9 years old, and they said, we just took care of it, we groomed it like we were supposed to, had yearly maintenance on it, and it looks like the day we put it in. And in those cases, he said those could last anywhere from 15 to 18 years if you take care of it. So it's just a, you know, how well you take care of it, how much use, you know, those types of things. So it's a project that would probably last, you know, in the ballpark of 10 to 12 years on the short end, you know, 13 to 15 years, you know, on the long end.
Those D areas would be black like that.
Well, the D areas would be black if we paved them. If not, they would be green.
If you were to have a fairly generous donor to maybe fund the majority of it, but in return would require their name on the turf.
Well, that would be one of the things that we would talk to the board. We'd have to get, you know, special permission to allow something like that happen. You know, because it would fall under advertising rights, which is a big benefit for a person. You know, if somebody's nice enough to write a $600,000 check, I would be totally okay with saying this is Joe Schmo Field. You know, I'd be okay with that. Hopefully we find someone like that, but you know, we've got some good people that, you know, have talked about being aggressive with getting some things out there. I think we can get it done. It's just a matter of what kind of timetable.
That came up in buildings and grounds, and right now we've got a policy that kind of prohibits that, so you would have to review that policy if you were to make that change.
And the other thing, too, you talked about was the plan, but also, you know, at the end of that life of that turf, the plan to have a plan for
refurbishing it or getting it replaced. I think one of the things that I would like to save, you know, it's not an initial fundraiser, depending on how things get started, because we want to contact all the alumni and things like that. We're going to have a level system of donor, you know, what you can donate. What I would like to do is the replenishing part, or the renewal, or whatever you want to call it, is you could buy a square yard. You know, so you buy a square yard for $100. You know, that $100 goes into the pot to replace the turf. You know, that's kind of what my vision is. You know, after we do the fundraising, then the next step would be to make sure we have some money left in there to be able to replace it down the road. And actually, this company can, if everything would go right, like say we got $600,000, they can start and be done in 21 days. Is what it would take for them. If everything went right, they can get it done in 21 days. So that's the golden goose, but I don't know if that's all going to happen. So we just got the ball rolling.